Hi, good evening, everyone. My name is Jacquelyn, as you can see, Jacquelyn Haley, and I've been a hypnotherapist for 13 years. I'm based in the UK in a small little place called Wales. And I got into hypnotherapy because my sister was diagnosed with cancer. So I'd heard lots about hypnosis, and I was very fortunate to have a training school in my city. And I trained and fell in love, completely in love with it. The things, the miracles I've seen over the years, and some of the incredible people I've worked with and met along my ways, and Daniel being one of them, we've become almost like a hypnotic family. Myself and Dan share the same teachers. I'm certified in Albanian hypnosis and Ericksonian hypnosis and kind of everything in between. So it's just a phenomenal therapy to learn. My background over 20 years ago, I did training counselling. I got quite bored with counselling. It's not as exciting. I like to call hypnotherapy as the dirty dancing of the therapy world, because we can get down and groovy and we can get some amazing results in a shorter amount of time. And oddly enough, Daniel, I was working with this man today, and he's a 67-year-old man. He's an ex-Navy, served in the Navy for many years, and he smoked for 54 years, but he has a deep belief in his religion. So using the creativity of working with him, with what he feels is important to him, he never thought he could quit. And he's been going to Nicotine Anonymous and all these things. And today, when we finished the session, he said it is the first time in his entire life that he has felt so much passion and so much confidence in what he can do. And I said, that's why I call my quit smoking program KISS, Keep It Simple Smoker, because we don't need to be so complicated, and that's what hypnotherapy will teach you. So anyway, I'm looking forward to sharing the evening with you. So thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Jacquelyn. Actually, the whole initiative for me and Jacquelyn is very well known in the UK. So basically, we got together due to an amazing friend of ours. She's a teacher friend. I don't know what to call her. She's like more than everything in the whole world. Wendy Weber. I co-authored a book with Wendy, her last book, Radical Healing. I wrote one chapter in the whole book. Actually, it was like co-authoring on all levels, and she's an amazing teacher, and if you can call it, what is like mentor. I call it like kind of like the the sorcerer's apprentice, if we can say so. So basically, yeah, my name is Daniel Ghanimé. For the ones that know me from social media, or they have heard about me, or this is the first time you see me, I'm here just based in Beirut, Lebanon, and I'm teaching the Hypnoanalysis hypnotherapy training program. It's quite different from anything that you will ever find. It's not a brag. I have students that are now just attending. I'm not sure, basically most of the people here are from Lebanon, but there might be some that joining in from the UK also, because the program is going to be addressed to the UK, and whoever is going to hop on board is more than welcome. This one is a Q&A session, basically, about the program, hypnosis, hypnotherapy, the difference between both. Is it like a woo-woo thing? Is it like magic? Where is it rooted? Where's the interest of psychology students learning hypnotherapy? And does hypnotherapy works? And we can go and bash it, and we can go defending it. Whichever way you're going to do that, it's totally welcomed in here. This is a safe place, politically correct place. You can mention whatever you want to mention in this gathering. So that being said, I come from a quite diverse background. I was. My basics are in telecommunication and engineering, and I joined Sorbonne University for a master's in business. And it's like, what the hell are you doing here? So basically, I'm I walked the path from morphopsychology and Société Française de Morphopsychologie, and then by mistake I ended up learning hypnotherapy, and from there on I saw that hypnotherapy is just like something quite interesting, quite useful, and many people would find it amazing to use, especially therapists. Now, if you keep an open mind, you will understand what I'm talking about. Let's put it from the beginning. It's not hypnotherapy. It's not only one word, as you can see. It's like hypno, and you have therapy. So basically, hypno. That's the system, actually, how you put people in hypnosis, the state, the process, the induction, and the emerging from the state of hypnosis. And then comes the therapy part. The therapy part is everything you will use, you will learn if you're studying psychology or psychotherapy. And at the end, actually, basically, psychotherapy comes after the psychology major. So you're going to have so many, like you will learn CBT, DBT, you will learn psychoanalysis. You will learn many EMDR or EFT, whichever way you're gonna use your techniques. If you know how to put someone in hypnosis, and you will know what is the depth of hypnosis and how can you test for that depth, you are putting 2 turbochargers and steroids, as Jacquelyn said, on your practice. I have people here who can just like have witnessed that, that they can, I don't know, they can advocate for that also. They entered as students from the Lebanese university, and now they're practicing, and they are just making amazing results based on the psychoanalytical studies and psychodynamics that they have used at the university. So basically, we're not going to say, hypnotherapy is something that will substitute everything. It's a complementary technique. Okay, so it complements psychology, it complements psychotherapy. And basically, Sigmund Freud said that psychoanalysts, so basically, I know that most of the people here are like, initially trained in psychoanalysis. Psychoanalysts are the rightful heirs for hypnoanalysis, because Freud, Joseph Breuer, Charcot, everyone used hypnoanalysis in the beginning, and they used hypnosis. And there are so many why they stepped aside from using it. It wasn't, one of them that is, how do we say that? A misperception. One of them is it doesn't work. Actually, it works, but he couldn't frame it in a certain framework or a protocol to put it in the psychoanalytical frame. So, if from the people who knew me back then and learned with me, I was quite aggressive on psychoanalysis and Freud. But now I really, with all due respect to everyone, how do I say that? I apologize, because at the end of the day, we stem from there. And if we keep on just bashing psychoanalysis, it's like shooting ourselves in the foot. So I would say you can interrupt me at any time. Just raise your hand, or put them, like you can raise your hand with the, if you have an iPad or something, you can raise your hand and it raises by itself. Or you press that yellow thing, I know it looks like someone has been eating fries, what do I call that, these cheese curls kind of hands, orange likey. So basically you can interrupt me at any time to ask me anything in relation to the program. That being said, who is Dave Elman? Why, I'm a trainer in the Dave Elman Hypnosis Institute. Who is Dave Elman? Most of the people, they study hypnosis and they stumble over Milton Erickson. Basically, every single person that took some chapters on hypnosis, you will be discussing Milton Erickson, and nobody will mention Dave Elman. But basically, Dave Elman, if that can be said, is the father or the godfather of the medical hypnosis. So Dave Elman developed a way that is reproducible, rapid, and simple to present, and fully proof to be able to hypnotize just anyone if they are willing to do. So basically, it's quite interesting to see when people, they will tell you not everyone is hypnotizable. Dave Elman proved it wrong, because the only people that aren't hypnotizable are cyborg robots and dead people. Every single person with a mind can be hypnotizable. So I will tell you another secret. You are hypnotized every single moment of the day, because when you access your subconscious mind, that's hypnosis. And I will just share my screen and show you something that I show it to everyone. Now, my students here will find it quite funny, because they are used to that. And I bet you missed that. I missed you too. So basically, I will start with it, by sharing my screen over AirPlay, and do this, and I will go on Zoom. Can you see that? Can you see it, Jacquelyn? Is it possible to see that? That's
right. Yes.
Okay, perfect. So I'm a very bad, drawing person, even though my wife is the amazing person who did that logo behind Jacquelyn. She's a graphic designer. This is
lovely, so colorful,
our sponsor, So that being said, every single person of us, when you were born and you were started, in the womb of your mom, your cells started developing, blood flowing, immune system developing, and this is what we call the unconscious mind. Now, that's totally different from Freud's idea, but it's quite close to Jung's idea on the unconscious mind. What do we mean by unconscious mind? Unconscious mind, anything related to automatical bodily functions, immune system, blood cells, your eyes flapping, your breathing, stuff like that. So basically, everything that is related to something that has nothing to do with the mind. Nothing, literally. And then you started growing up in your mother's womb. The first thing that a child start interacting with is the feelings of the mom. Okay, what is happening outside, and how does the mom feels? What is the so basically those things. It started at like, let's say 0, whatever it is, and keeps going till 7 years of age. Technically speaking, it continues till 24. But let's say that development will have what we call fights. That's the subconscious mind. Okay, what are the fights? There's like feelings, images or imagination, thoughts, emotions, and sensations. Okay, all those, they start developing. That's the subconscious mind. That at that subconscious level, anything interacting with those would lead you to a certain behavior. That's part of the subconscious mind. And if that behavior keeps going as repetitive, it will become as a habit. Habits are also in the subconscious mind. Okay? The subconscious mind is so lazy to the point it doesn't change whatever it learns. Because when it was first learned, it was a self-preserving mechanism. That's the subconscious mind. It's self-preserving. So whatever happens on subconscious level, it is done just for you to understand that out of good intention. And it's like what said. There's the saying, the road to hell is paved with good intentions. So basically, you get all those bad habits, bad behaviors, phobias, fears, PTSDs, whatever you get it. It's all here in the subconscious mind. And then after a while, there's something else that being built that everyone thinks it is the best thing. That's the conscious mind. Okay? In the conscious mind, you can see it here. Even though it looks big, you can see that it's a big circle. The space between these two, volumetrically speaking, for the mathematical geeks here, like me, it's smaller than the volume of that circle. So basically, since this one is a 95% of your mind, this one is a 5% of your mind. And no one knows, exactly the numbers, but we're using them for the sake of representation. And now if there's someone will ask me, like if 95% the subconscious mind is 5% the conscious mind, what is left for the unconscious mind? Nothing. Unconscious mind has no mind. Okay, so there's no thinking and no feeling. So in here, what we call this guy here the feeling mind, and this guy here is the thinking mind. And when you feel, you don't think. When you think, you don't feel. And the fun part about that, your conscious mind holds short-term memories, like numbers, names, what did you eat yesterday, while the subconscious mind will hold the long-term memories. Okay? So short-term memories versus long-term memories, whatever happened to you at any time, just like Dave Elman will say, nothing is forgotten. Anything that happened to you in the past keeps happening to you every single day on subconscious level, which is that moment in time we say we live in the light of our reflected actions. Sammy, open your mic and go ahead. Ask your question, please.
Okay. I wanted to ask a question about what we said something related to thinking and feeling. You said that when we think, we don't feel, and when we feel, we don't think. How could that be possible?
I will tell you. Just give me a second and you will know.
Yep.
Okay, so basically, as I said, long-term memories, short-term memories. The thinking mind that's the conscious mind, which we think we owe everything to it, but no, we don't. We have the short-term memory, we have the logical thinking, we have the analytical thinking, okay? It's rational. So basically, that's a great thing. And one of the worst thing we can ever imagine, it is in the conscious mind, it is willpower. Now I'll tell you about willpower, and now you know why your diets fail. To answer you about when we think we don't feel, and when we think we don't feel, when we feel we don't think. Basically, the subconscious mind does things in parallel. So basically, it's like a catch-it-all kind of net. You get everything in the environment around you. You feel everything. When you're thinking about one idea and one idea at the time. Basically, your conscious mind is capable of doing one thing and one thing at a time. You think you're multitasking, but effectively in computer world and IT language, it processes in serial. So basically, it does one thing and another, but it doesn't do it in parallel. So basically, when if you are now, as you are listening to me and you're looking at your screen, basically at the same time, it is not possible until I will say that you are able to feel the chair underneath you. And now you felt the chair. As I talked about it, your whole senses shifted to that point. And all of a sudden, I will tell you, you have some sounds around you in the room, and you started, just like your senses will shift. And I will tell you then, if you look at that image in front of you, and that at this that's the unconscious mind, now you start focusing on that and you will forget everything around you. So this is one thing that is related to the conscious mind. Consciously, you can do one thing and one thing at a time. You think you're multitasking, but effectively you are jumping from one thing to another. Now,
I completely agree.
An example for when you feel you don't think and when you think you don't feel. I will tell you one thing. Sometimes you're just thinking about something, you're talking on the phone, you're having a fight or something, and then the next morning you wake up with a blue bruise on your elbow or on your thigh, foot, or whatever. It happened that you hit yourself while walking, and in the amidst of all that, and you can't remember when you got yourself hurt at that moment in time. Basically because you were thinking, you were just like brainstorming over the phone, that you didn't feel that thing that hit you on the hand. And this is what happens usually. And to give you more about that, to give you even more, sometimes when we eat, we get sensations, right? The sensations, the gustatory, you're just like tasting your food. So some people, to numb feelings, okay, to numb thinking, like overthinking, is like you're just like overthinking about the problem and you're anxious and you're thinking about it all the time. To numb it, what you will do, you get yourself a big jar of Haagen-Dazs or just a big bowl of chocolate, or you drown yourself in a Nutella jar or something. So basically, you go for sensations to numb a thinking. That's another example. So hopefully this answered you.
I guess I was confused between the sensation and the feeling. So, but at some point I started to generalize it also on the level of the feeling, of the emotions, not just of the sensation.
Feelings, images, thoughts, emotions, sensations are part of the subconscious mind.
Okay. So also sometimes, because I'm a psychology student also, and
Exactly.
As far as we have learned, for example, in CBT, you have the ideas that come before the feelings, and then the feelings come before.
Can I stop you something here about
Yes,
CBT?
sure.
You know what will happen? I will tell you one thing. In CBT, especially in CBT, when we're talking about CBT, you're getting like thought, becomes a behavior becomes a habit. That's a subconscious thing. Okay. So basically, when you have that subconscious, urge of building a certain habit as a self-preserving mechanism in CBT, it is stemming from feelings, images, thoughts, emotions, and sensations. What happens in CBT, you will build a different habit. If you get like a habit, let's call it habit A. Sorry for that. You have a habit A here that is giving you hard times. In CBT, you will create a habit B. When you create a habit B, that habit A has been there for 10 years. That habit B has been here for 6 months. When you're facing adversity, your subconscious mind, in order to self-preserve you, when habit B doesn't work, what will happen? It will remove it and it will relapse to habit A. This is why it has to come naturally inside. And why? This is why here, willpower. Willpower. What is willpower? Everyone will talk about willpower. There are 2 schools that will talk about willpower. Willpower has 2 major schools. One school will say like it's like a container. It has just enough things for everything, just only one container. Another one will say like willpower is just like a feeling, like a pendulum. It goes and comes. So basically, in both cases, willpower doesn't last. Let's put it this way. That's the container of the willpower. Okay? Let's put it as water. We have water. Enough water. So basically, in this case, if I can see that, we have that willpower container. We're still in CBT, by the way. You're just teaching someone to do something out of their own willpower. But when they want to do it, they want to stop smoking, they want to do dieting, they want to quit biting their nail, and they want to quit their anxiety or their obsessive compulsive disorder through CBT, right? So what will happen? You have enough water to stop eating, enough water to stop your, like eating your fingernails, and then enough water to whatever, you're just going to stop smoking. And what is left here is not enough to stop your OCD. So you're left depleted. And at that moment in time, what will happen? You need to wait until that container refills so you can carry on again and using it in order to stop whatever you're doing. And sometimes your willpower is not enough to get you going. So at that moment in time, what you will be facing is guilt. You cannot go on with it. You're just going to face it. You'll say, I'm a failure. And then you hit yourself on the head and then you will relapse. Okay. So hopefully I was, just, was that okay? Anything else?
That was quite helpful. Thank you.
Thank you. So what will happen here? Okay. In this case, we have long-term memory, short-term memory. Where's the problem here? I will tell you one thing. What is memory? I cannot write with an eraser. That's something. What is a memory? A memory is equal to event plus, that's a plus, it's supposed to be a plus, plus emotion or feeling. Okay. What is a memory without an emotion? It's only a story. It's like as if you're reading a history book from the World War II. 2 million people or 200 million people died. It doesn't mean a thing. It's just a story. Nothing else is quite emotional. But if you're just remembering something about your, let's say, deceased dad or mom or accident, you will feel that emotion. And this is where the problem resides. Okay. What is being done in most of the techniques, even in EMDR, EFT, or different kind of techniques, what we're doing, we're just removing the emotion and we just keep in the memory that event, which is that event will give us something we call experience. Because if we at a certain moment in time forgot about the experience or forgot about the event, like how many people will come to you and will say like, I want to forget about him, I want to forget about her, I want to forget about that case. But what will happen if I forgot about it? I may repeat it, because then I will forget about the experience. So when you remove the emotion, it's no more giving you hard times, yet it's amazing for you, so you can have that experience in life. So what we'll do here in therapy, as I said, we're removing that emotion from that event and keeping the memory, and then thus we're reviving or working on the files, the feelings, emotion, images, thoughts, emotions, and sensations. Now, you might ask me, if this is the thinking mind and thoughts are in the subconscious mind, how come? It's totally different. A thought is different than thinking. How many times you said yourself, I have a thought, and then I think about it, okay? I got myself a thought, I have intrusive thoughts when I'm sleeping, and then I went in the morning and started just thinking about it. It's totally different. Thoughts, they will not excuse you into getting into your office. Thinking is made by choice. So basically, when you get intrusive thoughts, it's subconscious. When you think about it, you're trying to have a logical, analytical, rational explanation for it. That's conscious mind. Okay. So here I have a question for you all. What is the difference between a crazy person and a sane person? Anyone? Any takers?
Can I say?
If no one said that, you will be able to say that, because you have. Okay, Sammy.
Well, according to what I have heard from you regarding the thoughts and the thinking, the sane person is having the thoughts, but he's analyzing them and knowing what to use and what not to use. While the insane person is the same, but he's not able to control these thoughts and think about them or think about thinking.
You cannot think about thinking while you're having a thought in the subconscious mind. You cannot think. I will give you, you were so close, Sammy. No, I will give you, I will do that. I would say you are so close. So I'll give you credit for that. A sane person, okay, have a logical, analytical, rational explanation for what they're doing. A crazy person doesn't. I'll give you an example. If you ask someone, why do you smoke? Some people would say, I smoke because, it releases me, it relaxes me. If you've ever had seen, if you're measuring your heartbeat, your BPM count on a Fitbit or just anyway, just your heartbeat. If you're taking one drag of a cigarette or narghile, whatever, it will jump basically from 60 BPM, 60 beats per minute, till 105 or 120 beats per minute. So how come can you be relaxed when you're having tachycardia? It's impossible. So basically, because you gave it a rational, analytical, logical explanation for what you're doing, it's okay, it's fine. I'm smoking and it makes me feel relaxed. Whatever the mind expects tends to be realized. If this is making you relax, you will relax. Then if you ask someone, why do you smoke? And they don't have an explanation for that, logical, rational, nor analytical, they will be like, smoking? I'm smoking? Why do I smoke? I don't know smoke. Why do I? Then they're just going crazy. So this is a small example. And I give you another example. These Red Bull guys, they just jump without a parachute from like 30,000 feet from an airplane to land on a net. That person, if I'm just looking at that person on the TV, I would say he's crazy. But that person has an analytical, logical, rational reason why is he doing that. It gives him a rush, gets him money, whatever it is. Fame. So he has a reason for it. There's a purpose for that. So basically, he's not crazy. For me, because I cannot find the reason in that, then he's crazy. So basically, this is one way to look at it. So what happens here? Where is hypnosis? What hypnosis has to do with that? We're talking about memory. We're talking about events and emotions. And of course, we talked about hypno and therapy, and that's the total difference. If we go this way, hypnotherapy, and then we just divide it, hypnotherapy or hypno and therapy. Okay, so basically, if I put it in hypno and therapy domain, anyone with quite academic level of psychology, psychoanalysis, or anything related in his or her sane mind will not say that hypnosis doesn't work or hypnotherapy doesn't work, because that part here is psychotherapeutic techniques used in psychotherapy. So if you say hypnotherapy doesn't work, it means that your therapy techniques aren't working. It all resides in the hypno. Okay, how do you do hypnosis? So it's not the hypnosis that heals, it's the therapy. But knowing how to access the subconscious mind will get you into hypnosis so you can heal them faster. And I will tell you why. Again, I'll put it this way. Min who's hungry? If anyone is hungry now, this is your last warning to turn off the thing. let's put it this way. It's like a sandwich. I'll put it like a, okay, that's, then you have the other bun. In that bun, we're gonna put, let's put it this way. Sorry. That is supposed to be a burger or a hot dog or whatever you're gonna say to them. Okay. So let's put it. And I put that hot dog here. Okay, don't get any other thoughts. I know I'm a very bad drawing person. Just I suck at it. With that, I put some condiments, ketchup, and then I put some mustard, some greens. Okay. What does that has to do with whatever we're talking about? Hypnosis. That's the hypno. Okay. That's an induction. How do you put people in hypnosis? And how you take them out from hypnosis, emerging. That's hypno. If we take away that hypno part, we're left with therapy. That's therapy. Therapy requires, like any psychotherapeutic technique or psychoanalytical, it needs what we talk about analysis, psychoanalysis, or uncovering techniques to understand what are the deeply rooted stuff that we're going to face and what are the techniques we're going to use in order to remove them. So basically, in here, we have a regression to cause, and then you have all those techniques used in order to fix that problem.
Bluetooth mode. Pairing.
Sorry?
Connected.
Okay, not me. So basically, what we are left with is that. So this is the therapy. This is what you do. This is when you're not using hypnosis, you're doing this. You're doing, regressing, whether with just asking them about what happened before, how do they feel about it, and stuff like that. And then you use techniques in order to treat them. But what we use when we're doing that in hypnosis, what is left is and the bun. That's hypno. So we need to put people in hypnosis in order to access the subconscious mind. How do we do that? There is something here called the critical faculty or the critical factor between the subconscious mind and the conscious mind. And this guy here, okay, sorry for the bad drawing. Okay, is like, the six-pack. So it's like, he's like the bouncer at the gate of a pub. So basically, you enter and you don't enter and stuff like that. What happens whenever you give a suggestion? Let's say Celine wants to stop eating chocolate. That's a suggestion. Comes here. That guy here will go ask the big guy, the big boss, and said, like, Celine wants to stop chocolate. And then that guy will say, like, she cannot stop chocolate. Chocolate will give her comfort. So if she stopped chocolate, then she will feel discomfort. You know what? Send your suggestion to the willpower. That guy will stop it and send it to the willpower. And out of willpower, Celine will try to stop chocolate. But since willpower will be depleted, that suggestion will go away. What we do, what is hypnosis? Hypnosis is, and this is the drum roll, the bypass of that critical faculty and tell this guy, close your eyes, relax and stuff like that. We send this guy somewhere else. Okay. Sorry, we kept his hand here also. So basically, at that moment, we take him away. We almost remove that small part of the critical faculty, but we keep the conscious mind. So people are not totally not having a conscious mind. They still have their conscious mind in order to, and then that suggestion can enter the subconscious mind to remove that habit or replace it. Because one of the major rules of the mind, the subconscious mind hates the void, hates emptiness. So if you ever removed one habit from the subconscious mind and you do not replace it with something else accepted by the subconscious mind is going to create another habit. And sometimes it's not going to be easy. Like some people, they stop smoking and all of a sudden they end up eating lots of sweets. That's a different thing. But anyway, we can go on talking about that. So what is hypnosis? Hypnosis is the bypass of the critical faculty and the establishment of an acceptable selective thinking. So we remove the critical faculty and we establish an acceptable selective thinking, which, by the way, is one of the major things that we say no one can be hypnotizable against their own will, because they have to accept selectively, have an acceptable selective thinking. They have to accept that idea and suggestion in order for it to take effect. So if they don't have the acceptance, it's out of the question. It won't work. So far, this is what hypnosis is. This is what you're doing. Basically, what are we going to teach in this program? Teach you how to do that. To do everything, basically. The bun, the hot dog, and the condiments. And we go around so many techniques, so many ways, so many researches and studies. And we're going to discuss Freud, we're going to discuss hypnoanalysis, we're going to discuss the reason why we're talking about hypnoanalysis, because it's the ancestor of the psychoanalysis and the psychoanalytical framework. And from there on, we're going to go and, experience with Gestalt therapy, Gestalt therapeutic techniques, EMDR, EFT, regression to cause. By the way, some people would say that regression to cause doesn't work. Of course, it doesn't work, because regression to cause is not therapy. Regression to cause is an uncovering technique to understand what hell happened back then. And then you use techniques. So basically, it's if you're waiting for regression to cause to fix a problem, then you're totally mistaken. It's only just to get some ideas around the problem, and then you use those techniques at that point in time. So, is regression to cause a time machine? No, it is not a time machine. But the thing is, you only remember the fights, feelings, images, thoughts, emotions, and sensations we talked about here. Anything that happens in the subconscious mind happens in the now. So you cannot feel, think, you get a thought, you cannot feel, you cannot imagine, you cannot get an emotion or a sensation in the past. You will feel it in the now. So whenever you get a memory, like we said, event and emotion, the event happened in the past, right? But the emotions and the images of that event is in the now. This is why you have something we call an ab reaction. Sorry for my writing. Okay, what is an ab reaction? It's an abnormal reaction that happens outside the clinic, because some people think that ab reactions happen only in the clinic. An ab reaction happen outside the clinic. I will tell you one ab reaction that everyone will be stumbled off. Eating your fingernails is an abreaction. Pinching your hair is an abreaction. Having migraine is an abreaction. IBS is an abreaction. And overeating is an abreaction. So basically, yeah, abreaction can happen anytime. So if you think that you are re-traumatizing a certain person or like your client or patient, you're not doing that, because they are traumatized every single day on subconscious level. So do not be afraid. We will teach you how to deal with that. Okay, as like my teacher taught me, if ever like an abreaction happens in front of you, all that you need to do is just put that hand here, put that other hand here, and then put them together and look up there and say, thank you, God, for that, because now you know what is the real reason behind that.
You know, Daniel, can I say I've been doing this for 13 years. And I get as excited now as I did then when that happens. I can honestly say. Yeah. Do I wanted to share a little example there? When I'm started to embark on a weight loss journey a few months ago, and I have this thing about bread. I know many of us love bread. I don't know about you guys where you live, but it's a big thing in the UK. And I was doing my EDMR diploma, and doing it, we went back, and it took me back to a memory with my grandmother and a time when Mum had shouted. I'd run off to Nan's, and Nan had made me, my grandmother, this beautiful bread, baked bread with currants and sultanas with real butter. And I remember, oh, it was so lovely sitting by a fire, how gorgeous, how comforting. And it come up during the session, and you know, I haven't eaten bread since that, you know. It's just, and I realized that bread was my comfort and security. So there's a little example how it can work, you know. So
yeah, because you're feeling that sense of security in the now. So you're not not something that you just once felt, but it is there and it's still there in the subconscious mind. So guys, feel free, just hit me with your best shot, you know. It's like, ask me whatever you want to ask me. Anyone, anything, anyhow.
I'm going to read out a comment made by Mansoor, and I hope I've said your name correctly, Mansoor. In CBT, she said, I'm assuming it's a female, sorry, in CBT, it is thought, emotion, sensation, behavior. And I explained when we learn the anxiety method in the UK, that's how we study anxiety. Is it similar to you where you are?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the same.
Okay. Sorry, I called you a female. I am sorry. I'm unfamiliar with your names. Do forgive me. Sorry. Sorry.
Mansoor means Vincent, you know, in English.
What does it mean?
Vincent.
Vincent.
He's Vincent.
Oh, wonderful, Vincent. I know.
He's Vince. So basically, yes. So as you can see, CBT will take part in the hypnotherapeutic techniques, because you can use CBT techniques while in hypnosis in order to, you know, substitute that kind of habit rather than building another redundant habit. We can tell people to come to hypnotherapy. Can you elaborate, please, Naji? We can tell people to come to hypnotherapy. Yeah, they can come to hypnotherapy. You know, when they're coming for therapy. You know, hypnotherapy is a tool. Okay, it's not like science, because it's a complementary to psychotherapy. So basically, if you are you know, based in psychology and you have got your psychotherapeutic techniques, you can learn hypnotherapy on the side and also use it. So when people, they come to you and they ask you about if they don't believe in it, this is what I'm doing now. I'm just telling you one of the, okay, now we're getting a head start of chapter 1. It is a major part of hypnotherapy to dispel those misperceptions and beliefs about hypnotherapy. So I will show you one thing. People, when you say therapy or hypnotherapy, actually, they will see this. Ooh, look at this. No, it has nothing to do with this. We don't use it anymore. 21st century. We don't tell people to look at watches. We just tell them close your eyes. So basically, that's one thing. And if they don't believe in hypnotherapy, it means they don't believe in the mind. So basically, they don't believe in psychotherapy as well. So this is one big thing. So hypnotherapy, as I always say, I guess, Mansoor, you know, you're missing this. I call it hummus. I don't care what you call it. It's the bypass of the critical faculty and the establishment of an acceptable selective thinking. This is where this is. Unfortunately, why it is called hypnosis? Okay, that's going to be another hour. Why, in a brief, homosology. Yeah, that's homosology. You know that. It's homosology. So
no,
basically,
I think we had this debate in a group a few months ago about it. Hypnosis is the Greek word sleep, but sleeping. But the correct terminology is
no, it is not. I will go through this now.
Okay.
So what is hypnosis? Hypnosis actually it derives from the the god of sleep, Hypnos. Okay, it comes but hypnosis as a word, some people would say Braid came up with that word, but actually it goes way back to a Mesmerian guy that just drifted away from Franz Anton Mesmer, and it was the Baron Etienne de Cuvier. Okay, Etienne de Cuvier, he was the guy who wrote a book where he cited a whole lot of hypn-related words. So he used the hypn prefix and he put words on it, and he gave it an elaboration. And we're talking here the 1800 or something like that. So basically that's way back. But let's put it this way: back in the time, back in the Hippocrates, Abukrat, days in Greece, Greek medicine was mind-body related, and modern medicine just split it aside, and then we're coming back to the mind-body thing. And this is where psychosomatics come in. So basically what happened in the Greek days and the Pharaoh days in ancient Egypt, they had something they called sleep temples. What are sleep temples? They used to send people there and they put them to sleep and then discuss it with them. So unfortunately, it started as something called magnetism or animal magnetism. That's what Franz Anton Mesmer nowadays in the modern days came up with. That's the magnet. That's where the word magnetis or magnet comes from. And then we got to Braid, where the word hypnos, and then from de Cuvier, the word hypnos, and Braid used it afterward to put it as hypnosis. And then we are back to sleep. So magnet and sleep, and we ended up with tanwim magnetiseo, this the magnetic sleeping thing. And basically, and unfortunately, hypnosis is as if you're saying fax or television, or it's a word by itself. You cannot translate it to anything else. So you can call it whatever you want. If you want to put it in a certain definition, it's the bypass of the critical faculty and the establishment of an acceptable selective thinking, as per Dave Elman. Anyone else? Girls, women, ladies, you speak the whole day and you just hit me with something. Can hypnotherapy be harmful for some people? Great question. If psychotherapy can be harmful to anyone, then hypnotherapy can be harmful to anyone, and even much better. I will put you in this. When you're working with the subconscious mind, you're working with 95% of you. And this is what I said, it's self-preserving. So it is the safest place. And we can say in 200 years of hypnotherapeutic practice, there ain't a single one, case where hypnotherapy went sideways and it had side effects. If the subconscious mind doesn't accept that suggestion, it will not take effect. So basically, you won't be able to do, actually it's not you won't be able, you will never be doing anything against your will or anything against your own beliefs. That I will never be able, or the hypnotherapist will not be able to make you say something against your own will or divulge any secrets. In fact, since imagination is part of the subconscious mind, you will be able to lie like hell because you have a vivid imagination. So you'll be the best liar in hypnotherapy. So basically, if hypnotherapists like the Hollywood and Netflix movies and series would show are able to control people, I would tell you, I would have had a yacht in Mallorca or somewhere else in the world, enjoying, maybe hypnotizing people on a roulette table to put the ball somewhere else. I don't know. Can we recapitulate the notion about hypnotherapy? Yeah, of course. I will just draw that again. And let me share again. So, here. I will only do it once, okay? Deal. So, what happens? As we said, we are facing hypno and therapy, right? If you understand therapy, then we're not going to elaborate on therapy. We're going to talk about hypno. What is hypno? You have unconscious mind. Let's put it this way. Let's draw it cleanly. Unconscious mind, subconscious mind, and then conscious mind. And then you have something called critical factor. This is the faculty that will not let any suggestion to go inside the subconscious mind without being authenticated, if we can say. So basically, if you're trying to send a suggestion while you still have the critical faculty not bypassed, you will not be able to access here. What we do in hypnosis, what we say, if you want, we can demonstrate that. If anyone of you wants to do that, we can demonstrate that. But basically, I will tell you one thing is quite funny. So if you want to send a suggestion inside, all we need to do is remove the critical faculty, and then it's not removing it, actually bypassing it. Let's put it this way. What we do in hypnotherapy, close your eyes, relax and stuff like that, all these kind of things, sleep and the things that you see on the TV. All we need to do is just bypass that critical faculty and jump inside. So either by removing or moving that critical faculty and then sending that suggestion inside. I'm not sure if this is clear enough for everyone. The bypass of that critical faculty is done by something we call induction. And that induction doesn't have to be in the clinical domain. Any shock, any accident, any trauma, etc. You know what I mean? This will bypass your critical faculty. Okay? At that moment in time, when it is bypassed, you're creating a certain long-term memory, which is an emotion built inside your subconscious mind, and it starts behaving as a post-traumatic stress disorder or whatever, because it becomes a habit. Whenever you feel that feeling, you will behave this way. So basically, it goes as a cycle. And in that moment in time, because you had that shock, you bypassed your critical faculty, you wrote in the register of the subconscious mind. What we do in hypnotherapy, we dehypnotize people, actually. We go inside and then we remove that emotion from the event to a point where you only have the experience out of it and you remember the event without the emotion. And this way, you will not be hurting again. Is that okay? Is the critical faculty the same as our beliefs and values? Rada, no. The beliefs and values are part of the subconscious mind. They're like habits, and they're like, all these kind of things are part of the subconscious mind. So that's why when you're trying to change them, you cannot go against them, yet you can just, use them for your own sake. That's why sometimes during the therapy, we ask people if they are religious, and sometimes we use religious phrases, or if we can say semantics or vocab, in order to get closer to the subconscious mind in a way to let that release, that forgiveness, that getting the guilt out. So no, we're not going against their belief. We're not going to change that. The critical faculty is just a simple part between the subconscious mind and the conscious mind that works like some sort of a watchdog filter for whatever the suggestion is going in, if it will be accepted by the subconscious mind, yes or no. Is it possible that we remove a memory entirely, not just its feeling and hypnosis? You can do that, but that's bad. That's bad. If you remove an entire memory from someone who got raped during nighttime, you will remove that experience and that moment in time. If you remove the experience from walking alone in the dark, she will be ending up, or he will be ending up walking in the dark and getting the same thing once again, maybe later. So basically, you remove the feeling and the fear and the emotion related, but you keep the experience. So it's counterproductive to just delete something. It's like a guardian, yeah, Naji, 100%. It's like 100%. It's like a watchdog. It's like a guardian. Just like I drew it, like that guy with a six-pack, on the door of a pub will not let you in without your girlfriend or something. Is there any common with NLP? Amal, you asked a $1 billion question, and you're the winner with us. What is NLP? Okay, here's the shock for everyone else. NLP basically is hypnosis. NLP stems from Milton Erickson's ways of hypnosis, where Bandler and Grinder took Milton Erickson methods, because the hypnosis of Milton Erickson was Milton Erickson. It wasn't something quite analytical and quite protocoled like Dave Elman's. It was like him, because it came from him. And if you come to the program, you will learn a lot, the differences. So what they did, they took the techniques of Milton Erickson and they wrote it down as a protocol, a technique, and they called it neuro-linguistic programming, because those guys, they come from what called Silicon Valley. They worked with IT. So basically they got that thing called neuro-linguistic programming. Neuro-linguistic programming is based, like the pillars of neuro-linguistic programming are based in the Ericksonian hypnosis, and yet it is what we call in hypnotherapy a waking hypnosis. So you do hypnosis in a waking way. If you get to join the program, you will learn about waking hypnosis and how you put suggestions in waking hypnosis in order to make people get better, actually, because you can cure phobias with waking hypnosis, and not even with NLP techniques, with only Gestalt techniques that you use in psychotherapy, but you will know how to use it to your own advantage. Situation, thoughts, emotion, sensation, behavior. Situation. It's not that's not the situation. Naji, for the thing, it's like feelings, images, thoughts, emotions, and sensation. So basically, if your situation will create a behavior, it's the environment, and this is what is the water around the iceberg. Freud's iceberg. You see everything, that water that is enveloping the base of the iceberg, that's the environment. And here we goes into a different subject. Oh my God. We're going here into something we call epigenetics. That's what Bruce Lipton talks about. And this is where the environment will dictate your genes. And this is where, the psychosomatics start happening, because the psyche and the soma, they work all together. And sometimes your psyche is not enough, your thoughts, your emotions aren't enough to manifest. And then it manifests on your soma. So this is why you have IBS, you have migraine, you have backache, back pain, you have joint aches and stuff. Basically, it's a whole spectrum of psychosomatics. And yes, the situation or the environment as a whole will create a thought, that will create an emotion, that will get into a certain sensation, feeling, or it's just an image that happened there, that will create a behavior. And if that behavior keeps on being repetitive, it will become a habit. And therefore, it is impossible for you to remove it in the conscious state. That's why you need to wait for someone to go into subconscious state during psychotherapy. And this is what happened with Sigmund Freud. He used to put people just like, on divan, the chaise longue, or whatever you call it, and then let them speak. And then I will tell you, if you join the program, you will know more why he left them speaking rather than he is speaking, and why he wrote the book around the dreams. Okay, it's no secret, because he used to work with hypnoanalysis as a basis when they wanted to work with hysteria patients. So since hypnosis looks like sleeping, so he thought that, okay, why don't we go and then analyze dreams? So he worked with the dreams. And if you have read or you have studied actually the dreams from psychoanalytical point of view, and you go check it out from Jungian point of view, it's like if you go like Freudian versus Jungian, you will find there is more to the Jungian rather than interpreting it yourself on the Freudian level. Because from Jung's perspective, when you're dealing with dreams, it is about who's talking about it. It's not about the therapist. Rather, from Freud's point of view, it was all about the therapist to interpret it. So this is where most of the hypnotherapists, okay? We're not talking about psychotherapy. Hypnotherapists will fail because they put themselves first and they don't put their client first. And it's not about the hypnotherapist. It's about the patient or the client in front of you, because it's their subconscious mind. You are, as Dave Elman would say, a pilot of dreams. That's for one. And two, you don't guide, you don't lead, you guide. You don't lead them into things. You don't tell them, now what is your father doing? What if the father wasn't doing anything? So you don't lead them, you just guide them, let them then lead the way while they're going through their traumas and behavior. So this is one thing. And another thing which is very important in hypnotherapy, we never diagnose and we never prescribe. They are just like the main thing of it. If we prescribe, that will make us practicing medicine without a license. And if we diagnose, that will make us psychotherapists, and we're not. So basically, let's make that quite thing. Yeah, Jacquelyn.
I just want to touch on this, okay? Before I did the Dave Elman course, I trained with Marissa Peers. And I don't know if any of you have heard of Marissa Peers. She's one of the most perceived successful hypnotherapists in the entire world. And when I was working on the Dave Elman course, I was organizing it and I was hosting it. So I had to print all the manuals out beforehand. And when I read the manuals, I said to our tutor, oh, wow, I said, you're delivering Marissa Peers content. That's how ignorant I was. Because I'd always been more Ericksonian hypnotherapist. I'd never really been drawn to the Elmanian type. And it was only then I realized when you really research, everything goes back to Dave Elman. I would even credit NLP to Dave Elman. But the one thing you'll take away from this course, and if there's anything you take away from tonight, allow the subconscious to lead. because when we start thinking and analysing, it becomes about us, as Daniel have said. And the one thing I learned about this certification more than any of the others I have done, was that, and I tell you, it's changed the way I've worked. It has changed my results. It has changed me. I didn't realize, and I had probably been a bit egotistical, and we can't help that. We can't help but, actually, what I think this is, it's not about what I think. When you sit back, do that, and let the unconscious lead, you're successful every time. It just wins.
Indeed, it is, because once you start learning about Dave Elman techniques and ways and things, you will just like, holy crap, it's quite a different world there. And then why it was left in the dark, no one knows. Naji was asking if we can do hypnosis with kids. I will show you something, Naji. I work with kids on a daily basis. Okay, that's my set to tell kids about emotions.
Oh, right, okay, yeah.
You have seen the movie, I guess. You know those bunch. Okay. This is how you tell kids about emotions. I'll tell you one thing about kids. Kids between 0 and 7, they have so little of a conscious mind. Basically, they are in state of hypnosis most of the time. Biologically speaking, if you put them on an fMRI, you will see that they are in theta and delta waves most of the time. So basically, they are in state of hypnosis. So that's why if ever a kid will fall on the ground and the mother runs and take her out, and then she kisses the boo-boo, let me kiss the, like busul wawa, she will feel good. This is waking hypnosis. Mothers are the best hypnotherapists you can ever imagine on this planet. So basically, it's quite easy to work with kids, and it's amazing. It's so effective, and they are so much better than adults because they don't go over analyzing. They just love it. You can put them in imagination, and they can be just driving or riding or just piloting a certain starship while you're just delivering the therapy. And it feels so good and so great. And it's easy to get there. You know why? I will show you one more thing. This is one of the most important parts, if you can say, in therapy. I will show it to you now, and you will be shocked. What happens when a trauma hits or a shock happens? What will happen? If we consider age, okay, let's consider age. Let's put that, and then we put that. Okay. I'm going to put this higher a bit here. Okay. That's the conscious mind. That's subconscious mind. Okay. Let's put it this way. That's 0. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, whatever. That's 25. That's 7 years of age. A certain trauma happened on this point. On subconscious level, that trauma happened, what we call an initial sensitizing event. Let's say a dog that bit someone, okay, at the age of 7. So every time a dog barks or a dog bites someone, or they hear about a dog, this thing grows bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger to a certain point where at the age of 25, it just passes the border of the conscious awareness, and it will become a phobia. That manifestation became a phobia. So basically, it all resides here. It wasn't so important until a certain moment in time because it was compounded. So what used to be an ISE, we had a subsequent sensitizing event, 1, subsequent sensitizing event 2, a subsequent sensitizing event 3, and then you have something what we call a symptom producing event. At that moment in time, the symptoms started. And then from there on, it all happens on conscious level. So what does that mean? If that thing happened here at 7 and we attended to it at 8 or at 7.5, it's easier. It is still small because that event is the smallest emotion ever in relation to that. This is on subconscious level. This is unconscious. It's like it is manifesting. You can see it. You can see it sweating, tachycardia, shortness of breath, anything. You can see it. And here you're not seeing it. You have it as a fear inside of you, as a protective emotion. So basically in here, it's easier. So when you work with kids, it's easier to solve because it wasn't compounded, it got bigger, and it's so fun to be done. Versus what happens here on the age of 25, when that guy's grown bigger and he forgot about what the hell happened back then. And sometimes I would tell you one thing for sure, if that thing happened at a certain trauma, happened at 2 months of age, how the hell they're going to remember it? And this is what happens. Sometimes you will be amazed that people, they will remember things from the wombs. And sometimes they remember things in their crib at 1 month old. Yeah, so basically this is the aspect of the regression to cause. This is what we do. This is hypnoanalysis. And then we use the techniques in order to fix things out. Question. Is this the same we do with timeline therapy? Yes and no, Had. Timeline therapy is dissociative, while regression to cause is quite immersive. Because timeline therapy, you will fly over what is happening, either this way or this way, depends. But in regression to cause, there's something we call revivification. Basically, you will relive that moment in time. But then it is there is a way to teach you how not to put people and just hammer them in that traumatic event. You just step aside before and after, but basically they will relive that event. They will re-feel it because the feeling is in the now, rather than flying over that, timeline and getting a certain perception about it. This is quite intense, and it requires a very deep state of hypnosis. It doesn't work if you're just working with what we call progressive relaxation. Relax your head, relax your face, relax whatever it is. No, you need a really, really deep state of hypnosis. And this is one thing from the training. You will learn how to go and, using methods to test for depth in order to know if this is the level where you can perform regression work, rather than having very surface things. Can hypnosis treat bipolar, borderline, psychosis disorder like schizophrenia, paranoia, and what about autism and hypnotherapy? Okay. Let's put it this way, Nashi. It's yes and no. Okay? Yes and no. Why? First, I told you, there are some limits. We don't diagnose, okay, and we don't prescribe. If we diagnosed, if you're following me now, if I was able to diagnose and use DSM, then I will be using those terms. And then I will not be doing my work as a hypnotherapist. Now, if you are a psychotherapist and you have diagnosed someone with that, and your protocol will let you ethically work as therapy with that person, you can go ahead and do it. Otherwise, if the protocol will tell you, send that person because he has an organic issue in the brain, and a psychiatrist needs to attend to that, you have to follow. So basically, let's put it this way. I will use Beryl's way to. I will show you something quite interesting because I like drawing. I'm not sure why. many people, okay, many people happen to be in, if we're calling intensity of severity of the problem, let's put it a bell-shaped curve, okay? There are some people in here, okay, don't need any issue, okay? Don't need help. They're quite fine and okay. There are some people, clinically speaking, they don't have a problem, okay? But they're suffering. So many people you see, they have anxiety, they have a broken heart, you have attachment issues, but they're okay. They're like, they want to get their life better. Let's put it this way. If we put it like 68% here, and then we put whatever, this part here, that's 12%. Okay. And here that's 20%. So in this spectrum here, that's where you have DSM stuff happening, or all those severe stuff like schizophrenia, like borderline, like autism, as you said, something organic, really deeply rooted. We don't deal with that. You have enough people to work with in here. You just send that to the people who work with. You don't want to step in anybody else's turf, on anybody else's turf, or stepping on those toes. You don't need that. So if you want to, and you are experienced in psychotherapy or psychiatry, and you are authorized to do so, go ahead, be my guest, use it. You can, and it will make a tremendous effect. But on the other hand, if you don't, I would say don't approach it. If you're like, let's say, what do you call it? You're a cook, you're a chef, and you want to learn hypnosis. You can work with hypnotherapy. Okay, you have the fun of it, because most of the work with hypnotherapy comes from the mind. So basically, you can start working with it. But what about masochism? Okay, you can work. Masochism, you can work. Sadism, sadists, you can work with. The only people you can't work with, I would tell you this from my own experience and everybody else's experience, and that's a challenge. Go ahead, do it. Narcissists, who are really, really high on the spectrum. We're talking about not because my boyfriend doesn't think about me, he's a narcissist. No, it's not like the 21st century kind of narcissism. We're talking about really non-empathic, not being able to do. These people you cannot work with because they don't, they don't consider they have a problem. This is an issue. So basically, if anyone that has a conscious awareness about their problem, you can work with. If those people, they have any conscious awareness about their problem, you can work with. If they don't have any conscious awareness about their problem, you cannot work with. This is as simple as it gets. No one can work with. Indeed, Naji. No, you don't want to. Why should you? Now, this will take us into something else. We're talking here about transference and working with narcissists with transference. That's like Sam Vaknin is just an amazing resource. He was the only person who came up with the narcissistic supply term. So basically, you just read about Sam Vaknin. How many seances hypnotherapy takes? How many pills you need to heal? It's not like if you can tell me how many pills you need to heal from anything, I would really seriously I would be more than glad to tell you. But I would tell you about my record. I've never had more than 8 sessions, basically 5, but let's put it like that: 8 sessions on one single subject. Okay, if someone comes to you and say like, you know, I don't feel very well, it's quite vague. So you need to dig. If someone comes to you and say like, I have a big problem of attachment with my girlfriend and it's impossible, I'm quite jealous and stuff like that, that would take from 3 to 5, and they're done. So this is why I'm telling you, hypnotherapy is quite ingrate. C'est une carrière ingrate. So basically, people they just, you know, the subconscious mind takes, you know, this on its own pace. So what happens, they will heal on their own, because the subconscious mind doesn't have time and space. So basically, whatever got the change comes in later. It's not like you have a magic wand and, you know, just like think, okay, and everybody heals. No, it doesn't work like that. I wish it was, but it's quite faster than any other thing too. But yet, I will repeat that. You cannot say like hypnotherapy is faster than CBT. No, you cannot say that. It's faster than psychoanalysis. No, it's faster than EMDR. No. Those are therapeutic techniques used in hypnosis. So basically, using hypnosis with that therapy will make you just amazing. This is the thing. It's not the hypnotherapy that is healing you. It's therapeutic techniques with the knowledge of how to put people in hypnosis. And there are some techniques better than others in hypnosis. So basically, some techniques say, okay, they're good, but some other techniques, mostly Gestalt techniques, are amazing in hypnosis. In conceptually, how to say releasing a lot of this. His work onto a tube for 3. Yes, Sam Vaknas is just like, he wrote tons. Can hypnotherapy makes indirect suggestion to heal a disorder? Of course! Of course! One of the major things you will learn is about sending an indirect suggestion. In Lebanese, we say, basically, sometimes you will be talking to someone else, but you will get that suggestion through. In waking hypnosis, it's quite amazing. You can do that. And in hypnosis, you can do that. And this is what we call metaphors. Metaphors, basically, there are indirect suggestions. You just tell a story, and the subconscious mind will translate that. What were some resources from take? Yeah, that's Alfred Barrios. You know, I still have this. I had to track it down to the American Psychiatry magazine. And it's quite in the 70s. Now it's much better. Huh? Now it's way more than that. So basically the statistics are quite now much better. And to tell you the truth, you know, in Belgium they're using hypnotherapy in hospitals. I have a fellow actually. Trainer at the Dave Elman Hypnosis Institute, Dr. Brice Denis, Brice Lemaire. He's a dentist, and he teaches dentistry. So actually, I'm also trained in hypnodontics as well. And yeah, but he teaches that in Nice, in the University of Nice also. You know, hypnotherapy is not anything close to what it was before. Now it's amazing. So this is why. What I do, I teach, you know, psychology students. I'm keen on teaching psychology students because you have so much to give to the world when you understand where it comes from and how it works. Unless you want to just go there just to oppose to it for the sake of opposition, that's up to you. So anything goes like that. How the program goes? Okay, we have talked a lot. You know, it's just like the question. Okay, the program is like 3 months. It's divided in 3 modules. We divided it in 3 modules. It's easier because some people they quit. To be frank, some people they cannot hold it. They quit because it requires a lot of work. It takes like. It takes quite some work, lots of researches, lots of videos, lots of things you need to work on. Yeah, it's quite time consuming for you. It's like 3 months of work, 1 month each module, and sometimes it can just drag for more. And then after that program, you have 3 months of we call it follow-up and mentoring. So basically, yeah, lots of, you know, let's call it discipline and engagement and commitment in order to learn what we're going to do to give you. It's not only the part that related to Dave Elman Hypnosis Institute. It goes way more than that. It's, as you know, like as Wendy said it, you know, like tens of years and $60,000 of material. It's compressed in one thing.
Do you know what I want to add there? When I mentioned Marissa Peers early on, and she charges $4,000 to do her course, and it's over 8 days, and you only get access to a library for 1 year after. And in person, when I see you do it online, it's no person involved, it's just you doing the online courses. This is the one I did. And then to train in person, it costs $9,000. So, and I respect and admire Marissa Peers. I think she's wonderful, and she does an incredible service to the field of hypnosis. But when you do a course, it is mainly Elman, majority of Elman, with a bit of NLP. She does. Gin Boyle is a name you will become familiar with. Gin Boyle was also one of Jerry Keen's students, and he, I think he put a lot onto the chair side of the therapy, but that's all it was. She's very positive and very much like Daniel is, and I am. But when we think about the pricing strategy, when you said that price to me last week, I was like, in terms, because you mentioned you were going to be covering EDMR in this as well, and also you mentioned about CBT techniques, how we weave it in, how we interact. And I've done EDMR training. I've also trained how to utilize it in hypnosis. So it's great that you are bringing that, and that cost me quite a bit of money on its own, you know, to do that. So I just think that's an incredible. But I will say to everyone, most of you know Daniel. Over the last few years, since I've been known as an Elmanian hypnotherapist myself, we've got this wonderfully supportive group, which is headed by our main mentor, Wendy Webber. Well, she's not your mine, Wendy Webber. And it's so supportive. Once you're trained and qualified, it is so supportive. And if you've got any queries or questions, it's an ongoing, it's free. You don't even have to pay for it. It's kind of free and it's ongoing. And there's always that support. And I like what you said last week to me and Danny were in a meeting last week, and with Wendy as well, and we were saying about the lineage that we have and the family that we have become as a team. I'm in the UK, Daniel's in Lebanon, we have other people, they're all across California, Wendy's in Canada. We're like a family. We will if we may disagree, we're like a big family, aren't we, Daniel? It's absolutely wonderful. And I think in terms of hypnotherapy, I qualified in October 2008. I was very much trained in the Ericksonian way. And I think I can call it magical. Our family's magical. It keeps the essence of hypnotherapy alive, and that's what I want to see more of. I want to see, as Elman taught it, with our own slant as we put on it, I want to see that lineage kept alive. I want to see more Elmanian practitioners out there in the world today, and I want to see more trainers become, because these masters that we have, and they don't always stay around forever. We need new masters. We need them to keep this alive, to keep the lineage alive. And myself and Daniel have trained with Dave Elman's son as well. They're still on the planet. We still got them. But it's very much a very magical thing. And no matter what style of hypnotherapy or training in NLP that I've trained in, I just think it's Elmanian. I don't want to sound like an old car salesperson, but I just think that for me, it's magic, and I just want to see. I'm so passionate about hypnotherapy. I mentioned my sister had cancer at the start, diagnosed in 2006. It's 2022 now. She's survived every textbook you can, but through her, she is still here. She's still a survivor, and she hasn't had cancer for nearly 6 years now. So we credit hypnotherapy and the other things we did. So yeah, so it's just magical. That's all I can say. So I'll be quiet now.
No, actually, what you said is just amazing, related to the family thing, because as I said, it's not like you're not getting guys, I will tell you one thing. It's not as if I'm preaching and saying things out of nowhere. We have some of my students are here. I didn't even, go just like come here and do me some hip 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 hooray, bring your pom-poms and dance. No, I'll tell you one thing about what you will be gaining once you will get the Dave Elman Hypnosis Institute certification, and you get access to that group that we are in. You are not alone. You're not like someone with just a certification that we will put it on the wall and that's it. You have a lifetime access to a wealth of information, resources, mentors, and expertise. It's no joke. Believe me, it's no joke. Some here are part of the regression to cause group on Facebook, and some are part of the that we have now another group on the what's called this not WhatsApp, the other one, whatever,
Telegram. Telegram.
So basically, that's because it gets more and more bigger and bigger. And I will tell you one thing, another about the. About what's happening in the Dave Elman Hypnosis Institute family. Larry Elman, that's Dave Elman's son, he's still alive, just God bless him, and his wife Cheryl. They're just like a family. Yesterday we're working with them, just like helping them. We're just all together. They give so much support, and then you will not be just alone there. If they ever need any help, they will just jump in and then help you. It's just like a family. We're not talking here about just a simple rigid academic framework where you have like that whiteboard behind. No, we were talking about people with emotion, with sensations, with so much passion for the hypnotherapy and hypnosis. And above all, they're human, more than human, because I will tell you, like 2 weeks ago, we had a party over Zoom. One guy, a Lebanese guy, it happened to be, and a Lebanese guy that brought, like a keyboard, and he was playing Fairuz, for the world to see. And then everybody was singing and just like having fun. So basically it's not just like the thing that you get every day. And we're talking here about people I'm a baby in this, we're talking about people with an average experience of 25 years. When we're talking about Tom Silver, that's just legend. Okay, we were just calling, you will get names you will never even imagine, like Beryl Kumar. We're just talking about geniuses like Wendy, many, many, many people around there that they will have the time to give you help, to give you knowledge, to share, and they will not say no, and then even if you need support, they will offer it to you. So it's not only, you're not getting only a career, or you're just getting a certification. You're getting a lifetime connection with others around the world. So I'm not preaching about it. I've been in it for quite a while. And this is how I just met Jacquelyn, through Wendy. And I met, Beryl on the OmniGrad group from the Omni Hypnosis, from Jerry Kine. And then from Beryl, I met Cheryl and Larry Elman. I wouldn't have, dreamt of having so many people in there. And they all have, you can have access to that. Mansour, Elsie, George, everyone had the access to that. Some groups, maybe they won't match your time frame or your time schedule, but they're all open at any time to access them and learn more and more. So this is my 2 cents to you at any time. Elsie, it was one of the best experiences in my life. Thanks for I'm just voicing Elsie, and my voice is not like Elsie's. Elsie has a quite hypnotic voice, not like me. I sound like Shulk on a board. It was one of the best experiences in my life. Thanks for all your hard work and help. It is a pleasure to be one of your students. Very informative training. I really adore. Okay, now you're praising. I'm reading my praise. I'm so sorry. I didn't know that. Thank you, Elsie. Thank you. So basically, it's and believe me, 3 months of follow-up on you, because one day you will go inside a clinic or anything, you're working with someone, you will just give me a call and you say like, Danny, I'm seeing this and that. I don't know what to do. And I will guide you through it. It will not stop there. But the thing is, even after those 3 months, I will still answer your calls. So basically, you will leave me in 3 months, that's for sure. But I will never leave you. So that being said, I would like to thank Jacquelyn a bunch.
Can I just say as well, you can adopt me as well. If they want to, they can adopt me if they want to, that is. I'm volunteer too.
We're the adopted ones. So, yeah, I still answer your calls, and so you know that. Yeah, today we were talking about that. Hopefully you get better with COVID and the whole family. So yeah, if anyone has any other questions before we sign off, it was quite amazing.
Daniel, one question. What is the starting date of the course?
So basically, we had the starting date set on the 22nd. The 22nd of March. If we felt the need to push it a bit ahead, we're gonna do so until we have it's not limited to a number of people. We don't have any limited time for that. What we're going to do is a Q&A in the beginning of every other session. So basically, let's say we started the training today. We do that. If you have any other questions, we're going to start the second session with the questions and answers. So this way, we will not lose any time and momentum. It's going to be like 2 days or 3 days. It depends on the time. It could be like 3 hours and 2 days, or 4 hours and 2 days, or 3 days with 3 hours or 2 hours. It depends. So basically, we just discuss it with everyone on the group to meet everyone's, to be in a common ground. If people would be able to, we're not gonna have very rigid. We're gonna be very flexible on the times. But the kickoff is on the 22nd, basically, of March.
And it's going to be a Monday evening and a Thursday evening. Or we're going to be flexible.
We're going to be flexible. Basically, it's on like Monday, Thursday, but we're going to be flexible. So basically, whoever is going to join, what we're going to do, we're just going to discuss it with them. Maybe we're going to change that. Maybe like when they are all on board, we can change the dates and then move on at any time.
Any more questions, anybody? Tanya has joined us from the UK. Hi, Tanya.
Hey, Tanya.
Hey.
Sorry, I'm so late. My sincere apologies.
It's okay.
No,
we're about to wrap up, Tanya, but we can connect through the week and we can catch up, So yeah. Oh, you recorded it. You've recorded.
Yeah, I've recorded it. I'll send you the link.
We'll get you a copy, Tanya, and you can then connect with Daniel and yeah.
So thank you all for your time, your patience, and hopefully I see so many faces in the training program. Prepare yourself for a journey. It's going to be amazing. So
thank you, everyone. Thank you all.
See ya.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.